but the math is there for them to possibly get out.
Yeah, these teams are very much opposites in terms of who has been, or how they've been playing in the second half. Liquid has been struggling. Black Dragons have been doing very well.
So we have the map veto stage for you. Where are we going to go? We just saw teams play Bank, a map that has at one point inhabited one of the most played spots in all of Latin America. In fact, it was often considered to be Latin America's playground. Every single team in Latin America used to be feared on Bank, but it's seen its pick rate slowly drop, and in fact, it plummeted. So where are we going to end up today on Team Liquid versus Black Dragons? Are we going to see Villa? Are we going to see Bank? Clubhouse first ban. We don't have Border and Coastline available, so Consulate, Oregon, Bank, and Villa, but so long Villa. Consulate and Oregon left with Bank as a possibility. So long Consulate. Are we going to go back to Bank? Are we going to see Oregon?
Based on these Black Dragons' preference especially, I think Bank. Yeah, it's going to be Bank. All right, so Bank 2 times in a row. Clearly, they heard you, and they're trying to fix the low pick rate of what was once Latin America's top map. It's coming back into vogue.
It is, and I mean, we don't have a ton of data on Bank, unfortunately, because so few teams have played it. You know, there's been such a small window of play here that it's very hard to say, oh yeah, we know people are well versed. We just saw Boot Camp Gaming.
Yeah.
To go back like almost 6 months to the last time they played this match or played that map.
I mean, Black Dragons has played it somewhat recently. They played against Ninjas in Pajamas the first week of the second half, and they won it 6-1 if I'm not mistaken. So a pretty dominant victory there against a team that just won on Bank against Boot Camp. But yeah, Liquid has yet to play this season. Anyway, community vote. Who's going to win?
You got it right for game number 1. You can get it right for game number 2. Liquid versus Black Dragons, and it's pretty much the same. It was 72 to 20% in favor of NIP last time around. It'll be 74 to 18 this time in favor of Team Liquid. Typically a pretty safe bet in this instance. Last time around, very surprising to see so many people voting for Ninjas in Pajamas given their play so far this season, but this looks more in line with the overall season. However, doesn't really line up with the second half.
Yeah, if we're talking strictly second half, Black Dragons would be far above Liquid right now, and it's only thanks to Liquid's great performance in the first half that has kept them in the third place position. So while these teams, in terms of the current standings overall, are very much far away from each other, in Black Dragons being in 8th right now, and then Liquid in 3rd, this is a close match. This is anybody could take it, you know, maybe even expect a draw situation.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We just saw what we saw in the NIP Bootcamp Gaming, I think defied a lot of conventional wisdom. Ninjas in Pajamas, known for their very aggressive roam, known for being able to take huge portions of the map for map control and defense. Very conservative, played close to sight. Bootcamp, known for very successful entry, pretty slow and really didn't take much map control. And then it reversed, and while NIP's entry looked quite weak a number of ways, they came pretty close, but great anchor play from Bootcamp was able to seal the deal, and that's not always the case with Bank. So it's kind of been a day where the norms were flipped on their head.
Yeah.
What are we going to see here? I'm curious to see how PSK fits back into the lineup. He was out for one BR6 matchup and then one match as well last week, where Liquid's fate was not quite that good. They lost. They had Silence playing on the team. Whether he fitted or not, I think is the team's call, and they've got PSK back in. So let's go back to where we were and see if maybe that motivated PSK, if it was a performance issue. Let's see if it changed the team's attitude, opinions, or not.
Well, loss is a loss no matter who you have on your roster, right? And going into this match, it doesn't matter who's playing. You really just need to take the win no matter what. Bank, though, going to be the platform for us to decide the victor. And Black Dragons on attack. Team Liquid on defense will be loading in right this second. And here go the operator bans. Because Liquid is defending, they will also ban first. And we'll get to take care of an attacker to start us off.
Lion and Ying were the 2 attacker bans last time around, Echo and Clash. And of course, Echo does see a fair bit of play, but Maestro tends to be one of the more popular operators on Bank. Depending on whether Liquid and Black Dragons feel comfortable rolling with that, they can possibly see one of those get taken off of the board. But unlike the first map that we saw on Bank here against NIP and Bootcamp, we're going to see a hard breacher go.
So Habana being banned is going to place a lot of emphasis on sites like the basement, also open area, ones that are vulnerable to those drop downs. So this is going to be a very different bank to what we just witnessed, and you can expect to see basement defended quite a bit because of that ban, especially from Team Liquid.
Ying getting banned out again, and just to add on to what you were talking about Hibana, was usually when we see both hard breachers left on the board, typically that favors the attackers. Despite that, there was only one attacking round victory in the first game. And most of the team play from both Bootcamp and NIP, they brought both hard breachers every single time because of exactly what you noted. You take the hatches, you take the walls, you have the flexibility to do that, but things are going to play out very different. Interestingly, Black Dragons bans Ying instead of Lion. You know how much Team Liquid loves their Lion. Clash and Echo will be the final two bans here for defense, and we'll get underway, and you'll see Liquid immediately locking in lockers and CCTV. Very good call on the Hibana ban and playing exactly as you said it would.
So, well, yes, Liquid likes Lion, and it did play a huge role in some of their most notable victories. They also are going up against Black Dragons, who, like every other team in Pro League, will bring a Lion if available, since he's so powerful. I mean, we've even seen G2 bring Lion when left unbanned. So, Cav, interesting. Sexy Cake is going to be playing on a bit of an off operator, not usually played, but we have seen it be useful in the past.
Speaking of G2, Jonas playing as Caveira on bank against Evil Geniuses in the Paris Major Grand Finals, pulls off an interrogation. Always a possibility here, and we've spoken.
We have spoken about this.
I am paid to say words.
We're paid to speak it, Parker.
We are indeed paid to speaken. And I will speak in better than most people I come across in my day-to-day life. Boy, don't you know it. We have spoken so much. I hate that this is going to come back to bite me. We've spoken so much about how good of a map Bank is to roam on.
Yeah.
It's huge. There's a reason why Jackal is a necessity for most attacking compositions. There's a reason why Bank tends to go till the final 20 seconds every single round, and it's because you have to clear out all three of the massive floors before you can begin to execute on the site most of the time. Obviously, big asterisk, because we just saw Nip and BK not really do a great amount of clearing out the roamers, because there weren't a lot of roamers. However, you have a Caveira, she works quite well on being able to just simply flummox the attackers, and Nesk incapable of hitting drones whatsoever, as he'll miss two and let them go by. Sexy Cake playing up top is the Caveira in prime position, but he's got the Jaeger there to keep him a secret. Bullet will make sure that the Cav does not get found out. Of course, she was a 6th pick, so very high likelihood that Black Dragons might not know that that's what's looming for them.
Yeah, the late flank potential from Sexy Cake is going to be tremendous. And the rest of the roamers are set up pretty well on this top floor. There is a Jackal in play for Black Dragons, so they can detect all but that Cav, of course, if Sexy Cake was good at using his ability to cover the footsteps. But you aren't always going to get every single potential footstep as you're exposed there. RDZ seemingly given away as the pre-fire was coming from Zig.
Amazingly, Zig is going to get away with that without paying for it at all. It did look like RDZ Zofia inside a garage was going to be able to get that kill, but here comes the line, and oh no, Sexy Cake is going to just be stopped on the front lobby stairs. You'll see a drone, so at least when the Lion's gadget finishes off, you'll still be able to see Sexy Cake possibly continue to pounce. He's going to go towards Tellers and possibly find somebody. Oh, what a shot from PSK! As Zig gets Slash and Black Dragons have lost two very important operators. Sexy Cake will meet his fate at the hands of a Claymore, so Slash will at least get a kill from the grave. RDZ taking out Zig as there's an ill-timed rotate from Liquid, and there's a minute to go, and there's only 6 operators remaining.
Yeah, PSK is the only anchor, and he has no control over either of the sites. You can see that Black Dragons are just trying to consolidate inside of B, potentially get a diffuse plant if it's possible. Maybe the diffuser down? No, it will be planted inside of B. Great positioning right now, but Small going to give that away to Nesk as he attempts to retake. He's able to get one kill. You see Lev far field inside of the garage. This is great angle play for an ACOG, and he will get the first kill on a Nest. PSK takes out RGZ. Another Claymore kill, the second in the round for Black Dragons, putting us into a 1 versus 1. PSK desperately trying to get the angle onto Lev, but it's going to be difficult. The gas canisters disrupting visual for just a little bit, but not enough, very likely, to get the win. And the long angle from Lev will be victorious. PSK goes down, and Black Dragons take round number 1.
There was a window of opportunity there for PSK to be able to probably get that defuse off. It did look like at least 5 seconds were burned or so by the Jackal, who had sought the safety of the one garage wall in case he got pushed as he saw the Toxic Babe go off in front of him. But I think the way that Black Dragons planted that diffuser, it meant that they weren't able to allow Liquid to long arm it, which is the right call to make. You know, you've got the lockers that are right next to you in the main doorway. That is a perfect opportunity for the defenders to very safely start working on destroying the diffuser. But good placement from Black Dragons overall. And of course the call came out from Nesk when you saw Lev get the kill, but you expect it to be a 1v2 at that point, but 2 Claymore kills in 1 round is almost unheard of, and it will end up saving the day for Black Dragons, who will get diffuser down and also take that first round.
So Liquid were playing a very heavy roam game. They had 4 roamers, I believe, and 1 solitary anchor in PSK who was playing inside a vault. That anchor died. Well, he didn't at the very last, which is kind of interesting. They also had Zig, if I'm not mistaken, also anchoring down in the site. But other than those 2, the 3 roamers, Sexy, Nesk, and Bullet, accomplished very little to nothing in that round. 2 of them, like you said, dying to Claymores, and then the last one really, Nesk coming back to site, he did get a kill, but he couldn't make anything happen. And the beauty of that round was really Black Dragons reading that they have, okay, 3 roamers. Let's just push site, get B, and plant the diffuser. Why not? They don't have anyone in a position to stop us.
The one thing that you can give credit to Liquid for, and we've seen this before, we've seen it against G2, we've seen it against other opposition in Latin America, is they happen to be one of the few teams who will often construct a defense around a retake. Now, it's very difficult to nail that down, and you can't rely on it, certainly, because a lot of it hinges upon numbers, on whether the attackers have a huge distance advantage. Example, much easier for Lev to be able to hit that shot with an ACOG all the long range than having a smoke try to outduel you with the SMG-11, especially after those recoil changes. So it's tough to be able to orchestrate that, but it certainly looked like Liquid was ready for a possible retake. Now, transitioning towards this round right here, Sexy Cake will get Jackal tracked. Something that has become quite commonplace right now on Bank is playing those server stairs with a shotgun. Couple ADSs, a barbed wire, and Sexy Cake will have likely a Valkyrie camera to give him information as we see the Spaz 12 in the hands of the Valkyrie. A rarity these days.
Yeah, still a powerful shotgun and extremely close ranges, but not the sniper that it once was. ADS is placed in a position to attempt to cover Sexy Cake as long as possible. The Jackal tracks will eventually wear off. You can see that he was baiting them as far down as possible to try and distract his opponents. Drones and Claymores both being placed on this doorway. They know where their opponent is, but if they can get good information and maybe attempt a pre-fire, it's winnable. However, no one from Black Dragon seems keen to challenge this.
And they don't know he has a shotgun either. He's been pulling the Deagle out to take care of drones every single time in a deliberate attempt to possibly provoke that kind of close quarters combat that a shotgun will win at. You know, it's the MPX is a lot of things. It certainly isn't a gun with a high amount of DPS, and at that range, a shotgun can make all the difference here. Great play from Nesk as he won't miss his shots this time around. Drunks is felled as he tries to pull a goo out of his foot. That's the Twitch off the board, likely trying to find those mirrors, but there's not a lot of time here, and it's a scarce opportunity for Black Dragons to get into sight. The Valkyrie will reposition, first line will get burned, and Black Dragons able to possibly just pinch in towards the site. But pressure will be postponed, at least for the time being. PSK, a big shotgun kill. Lev will miss a lot of shots, and Nesk will come away with his second kill. Bullet being able to play through the bars inside a vault, looks all the way towards the Ash so long, and it's just small above holding on to that diffuser, Michael, with just about 15 seconds to go.
Yeah, it's going to have to be one of the greatest clutches in Pro League history if he wants to pull this off. No exaggeration there as we come down to the last 5 seconds. He will get a frag onto Nesk and a second one onto Bullet. And that's it. Round over, 2 kills that will accomplish ultimately nothing. A nice lockout there from Team Liquid. A big part of that was the Valkyrie playing on server stairs, able to deny push into server, which forced Black Dragons to reevaluate their strategy. They started pushing from the other drop downs by the main lobby, the tellers and the elevator drop, which is a potentially powerful push if you catch your opponent off guard, but obviously you're not going to when you linger the way that Black Dragons did. Now, good lockout or good hold by Team Liquid, and nice attempt at a rotation from Black Dragons. And that's going to put us in an even 1-1.
Yeah, I mean overall, I think when you look at that round, it was pretty interesting the way that Black Dragons played that. They spent about 2 minutes trying to find out where Liquid was. They, as you said, they struggled to be able to flush out server stairs. I don't know why they didn't bother to go for a fight there. As you can see from Black Dragon's lineup, outside of maybe a flashbang from the Ashe, they don't have any ability to lock down server play. Usually what we'll see, a couple ways that teams handle that server hold. You know that there's likely going to be 1 or 2 ADSs in there. There might be a deployable shield. There could be an Ela playing in there. You don't really know. It depends on the way the operator decides to play it for the defenders. But you have a Zofia usually to try and burn through the ADSs. You might have a frag grenade as well. None of these things are available for Black Dragons because they're going with a very heavy frag lineup. They're not going for as much utility as you'd see a lot of teams bring. So that Swiss Army knife that happens to have a gadget that can possibly open up server stairs won't be available. Sexy Cake running the P90 is just a side note here. A little bit of bobbing through those windows. That could have possibly been a hairy predicament for Black Dragons as a Rook running a P90. You know Sexy Cake loves his unconventional operators and he likes running a setup that isn't pretty standard inside a Pro League. P90 is not a weapon that you see every single day.
Definitely a viable one, but only if all you're landing is headshots. Does very little damage compared to its counterpart, the MP5. Now, Slash trying to challenge this long angle. Sexy Cake trying to do the very same. No matter who wins here, ultimately it's time being wasted.
A lot of time.
Yeah, and Slash is the perfect operator to sit in this position, but he's still wasting time. And Bullet's going to take down Drunks elsewhere, so Bullet's a second kill as we continue to watch this challenge from Garage. And it looks like Lion's going to rappel down using his EE1D to do so. RDZ also eats some damage, potentially from Bullet. Nesk is going to be the one to finish him off, though. And Bullet just inside of that storage room doing so much damage. Slash will take out Sexy finally, so the challenge is finished off, but not on the long angles. He does also eat a lot of damage as he pushes into the main lobby. He doesn't really have any control to work with, and he's being completely surrounded by his opponents. His Bullet gets his 3rd kill of the round. PSK will get his 1st, and Liquid take it very decisively.
Liquid has changed up a lot of their roles here, putting Nesk on more of a fluid fragging role on defense rather than playing one of those anchors on site. I would say that Liquid is being a little fluid. Don't you think?
Was that deliberate?
I would never make a pun. Not in a broadcast.
Yeah, you've never done that before.
I save my puns for jokes in private.
Yes. Responsible dad.
Yes, Michael, of course it was deliberate.
Okay.
Anyhow. If you don't just derail me this time and allow me to get to my
No
point.
promises.
They've switched up their roles an awful lot. Now, we saw that, Nip, a team that was doing some struggling earlier in match number 1. They played a completely different game here on Bank. Liquid changing up roles. They put Nesk on more of a frag-oriented role. He's not playing on site. They're not locking him down. They're likely keeping just PSK and Zig on site, allowing Bullet to continuously frag as he does very well and keeping Sexy Cake somewhat close to site. But, I mean, It's interesting. We're going to see teams continue to make these changes as the season winds down. Liquid are not in free fall, but they've had a really disappointing second half. I think after a very good start to the first half, they've really fallen off. And, you know, Liquid really need to find that gas pedal in order to maintain their solid play.
If Liquid do lose this match, then at that point, yes, they are in free fall.
I'd say that, yes, especially against Black Dragons, who are in a must-win scenario right now to be able to take that spot back from NIP. And I mean, we saw for just a second there during the break, but the standings are so log-jammed that, you know, Pain is at 15 points, if I recall correctly. They're at other 15 or 16 points. Boot Camp is at 13 points. NIP is at 12 points. Black Dragons are at 11 points. There's a logjam at the bottom now. It's starting to look like North America, where really any team can get there. Yeah,
North America currently the closest region by far and away. Latin America, the second closest, right in the middle. Europe, the most askew. The only region in the world right now that has a team that has not lost a single match and a team that has not won a single match is Europe. So Latin America going the opposite direction.
Presumption here being that Sexy Cake playing above, as they'd spotted one of the attackers on that Valkyrie cam. If I can just transition here to what we just saw. It should be noted that on the previous round, Sexy Cake with the P90, he did hit a shot onto the Lion, but it looked like it might have grazed his shoulder. Of course, the P90 at such a great distance is going to do minimal damage. It looked like the Lion took maybe 5 to 10 damage at best. Now, Sexy Cake has traded out the P90 for the MP5. He's playing up top in Banana, yet again staring at the window, onto the vents outside, daring somebody from Black Dragons to push him, but once again, burning a lot of time. He kept the Lion at bay for about a minute, and, well, it's been quite a bit of time, but Black Dragons will be able to walk away with a pretty good start. Both PSK and Sexy Cake from above, see ya, so long. Lion Gadget will go off, Bullet takes out Levy. That's the only set of smokes from Black Dragons on the board, and Zig pushes up onto the stairs. He takes out Drunks, and, well, Black Dragons will now have to battle back as they've just lost 2, so both teams in a 3v3 with a minute and 15 to go.
Run out from Nesk on the north windows, and there does not seem to be anyone in a position to refrag from Black Dragons. You can see that Nesk still detected outside, but he will be able to make it back into the building in all likelihood. You can see Sledge RDZ detected at the top of those main lobby stairs, but he's able to get a kill on 2 Bullet as he pushes into reception. Zig now the only one still in the building. Nesk will finally make it back, but there's no presence on the site, and because of that, the diffuser will easily be planted. Small going to go for that north rappel and attempt to hold this from outside. Still run out potential for the defenders since they have 2 left. They can deny the diffuser and run out on this repeller. But they're going to have to deal with RDZ first. He is the main hurdle right now for Liquid. If they start peeking their way into sight, they've already lost half of that diffuser time. They're running low. RDZ playing a long angle, and he will get the first kill. The follow-up is nearly there. Lots of damage done to Nesk, but no final frag. And it's not going to matter. There's not enough time for Nesk to kill 2 players and disable the diffuser, and RDZ will get that very last kill.
Great play for Nesk on the run out initially. That turned catastrophic very quickly. It took Nesk almost 30 seconds to get back in the building. Now, I don't know if he was trying to keep them from, you know, tied up, expecting to get pushed or not. We'll see a lot of teams will dive out that window, get the kill, and then just stay and sit and try to bait one of the attackers. But Black Dragons just decided, no, we'll just attack the site. That's it. That's all we need to do. They were rewarded with the kill onto Bullet, and it was just left with Zig, who was so far away from the site, playing very, very disconnected from the rest of the team that everything just fell apart. And Black Dragons really didn't need to work that hard after that diffuser went down. It was a pretty easy hold for them.
Yeah, I think Nesk made the call of, I'm going to wait in the corner and try and bait out a kill for a little bit here. And ultimately, that was the wrong call. Wasted too much time. It is safer to do it that way than it would be to run if there's somebody by the main lobby door or somebody on the roof of Bank. But at that point, there were only 2 attackers left. And there's not much time left in the round. They have to push the site. They cannot hunt you down. So just make it back into the building. Eventually he did, but it was too little, too late. And because of that, Black Dragons keep themselves locked in tie with Team Liquid. Liquid's going to go down to the basement once more. Now, this is their final defense. They did manage to win their second attempt at basement. This is going to be their third. Their first round went the way of Black Dragons. Now, a big reason why Liquid won the last time they were at this site has to do with Sexy Cake playing that shotgun on the server stairs. He forced the rotation for Black Dragons to attack from the west side, which is not really ideal if you're just trying to push them through the elevator or drop down and the tellers drop down. I seriously doubt that Black Dragons are going to allow themselves to be pushed into a corner like that, and if they do, this time they'll have plenty of time to make an execution happen.
Yeah, I was, you know, overall, I was pretty disappointed with the way that Team Liquid played that, just from a strategic standpoint. You know, tossing that round away, I would say more than that was Black Dragons winning it, right? And I mean, now we head back down to CCTV. It's, you know, it's anybody's game here as to what's going to happen, but I mean, Black Dragons have tools at their disposal. They've doubled up on that disruption. You know, I don't know if this is going to be used to try to take out Sexy Cake or not. You've got the Dokkaebi as well as the line. You've got 4 sets of smokes. Good utility from Black Dragons overall, but they're going to have to really use the ability to lock Sexy Cake down with either a phone call or one of those EE1Ds, because there was a minute that was burned just trying to battle the Valkyrie, and here we go again. It's been a minute. The Valkyrie is still there, still just waiting patiently, likely with a goo mine at the doorway and barbed wire there to stop anybody from pushing.
Yeah, he's got the shotgun in the right angle. He cannot run out because of the Claymore, but that's not his job. His job is to deny server, and he's doing that. You can see the hard destruction investment from Black Dragons is going to be too much to open up that server drop down because they only have the Thermite. That's thanks to the Hibana ban. So this is great calculation from Liquid, banning Hibana and playing this specific role for Sexy Cake, then reinforcing the server drop down. There's an ongoing discussion with reinforcing the server drop down. Sometimes you want to leave it open so that your roamers can late flank any attackers in server if you default out of server. But with this operator ban and this setup from Liquid, reinforcing it forces Black Dragons to attack from different angles.
60 seconds left. They've still got both logic bombs available for them, and they've still got both lions available for them. Black Dragons can be firmly in the driver's seat here. And, I mean, Liquid, who look to be in the same position, they're expecting a hatch drop over towards Vault. First logic bomb is going to force Sexy Cake off. This is a good time for him to be able to seek shelter inside of the site. 40 seconds to go, and there you have another EE1D. It's going to go off. So 1 logic bomb, 1 EE1D have been expended. Black Dragons taking advantage of the double smoke to just drop right into Vault for the time being, but they'll meet a number of Legion mines, and they'll be stopped for the time being. Small, that's Diffuser Holder, as well as Thermite gone. C4 from Zig will connect, and Black Dragons will need to pick it up, but there goes another. Zig will pick up his second kill. Nesk jumps in, Slash gets locked out. RDZ inside a garage, 1v5. What can he possibly put together here? They're all going to push him again, but there you have it. The Spaz 12 works quite well, as Sexy Cake able to get that final kill onto RDZ. Largely, I suppose you'd call that an impactless frag, as it was a 1v4 at that point, and through the first half, not as dominant, but Liquid will still win the defense, 3-2.
So, the Hibana ban and the reinforced server dropdown combined with the Valkyrie shotgun on server stairs forced Black Dragons to push from the other dropdowns. Now, that was expected from Liquid. In fact, it was their entire plan in the first place. And once it was rotated into by Black Dragons, there were all these Legion mines, there were murder holes opened up from the B bomb site to watch the drop down, and Black Dragons dealt with it the best they could. They threw smokes and they tried to make the push happen with an EE1D following a lot of burst. However, that burst potential was greatly diminished by the Legion traps that were well placed. Because of those Legion traps, ultimately Black Dragons could not make any distinct pushes happen. Because of that, they just kind of got shut out on the predicted push from Liquid because it was all going to plan. Now, Liquid did manage to win the first half, but it was a lot closer than I think it should have been. And Black Dragons now going on to defense will be on the favored side from what we've been seeing so far today. Most rounds on Bank thus far today have been defensive-sided. In fact, of the 2 matches we've seen played, only 3 attacking wins so far.
I mean, you look over the last couple times, you know, that we've seen Bank get played in competitive style of play, you know, and you look through here right now, and I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, usually
defense tends to win more often than not from what I'm seeing here. You know, if you look all the way back to the 6 major, most notes that I have on Bank, yeah, you're expecting the defense to walk away with you expect the defense to walk away with more rounds than you don't. A big part of that is in most of those matches, one hard breacher has been banned. So it's very interesting that the game that we saw the biggest advantage in favor of the defense had both hard breachers available. So that's a little intriguing right there. Now, employing a strategy likely that we saw Team Liquid use in Atlantic City to win that championship in Season 7 was, well, you have a Lion, then you have everybody drone Neskin, and he just decides to kill everything. Well, you've got Sexy Cake playing on the Lion here, you've got Nesk on the Ashe, so, hey, pretty good opportunity to reenact a set of games that I'm sure gives G2 the cold sweats thinking about. And since then, they've pretty routinely banned Lion every single time, and I think a big part of that is how he was used by Liquid in that finals and how he gets used from another amount of teams. We'd just seen some bit of action there as Slash just narrowly avoided Sexy Cake's shots as Sexy Cake repelled by the front doors of lobby.
So, Liquid just looking for fights right now, and Black Dragons honestly look keen to oblige. But as the EE1D goes, the red light is called. RDZ will get a kill onto Bullet, but his position given away. He's a dead man walking. Flashbangs are going to disorient him, and Nesk will get that kill. But at the cost of a Zofia and plenty of time and utility. So, well enough done from RDZ to say he won that engagement.
All they burned was, you know, they used a drone and 2 flashbangs, and that was it. And they got the dock down. But yeah, like you said, they took the Zofia out, and I mean, hey, it worked for them.
So, Evil Eye trying to disrupt the drones that are pushing in from the main lobby, and Drunks has got an interesting setup here with the melee holes. Going to have a little bit of a whack-a-mole session with whoever decides to fight him, but he will of course give away his position as soon as he peeks any of those angles. Ashe is just barely into reception, and the last EE1D will detonate. 2 defenders inside a meeting hall will be trying to crossfire onto B to deny that push, and Drunks is going to be the one to get the first kill onto Nesk from CEO. It's a great position right now from the Legion, and the main fragger for Team Liquid gone. Nice shot from Sexy Cake, though. Very tight angle, and he manages to take out Lev. There's still one more in meeting hall, and that looks to have been called out for Team Liquid, so they're going to be aware when they go for the final push. Trunks in the CEO position is the linchpin of this defense, and Small could be a huge boon if he's able to play this position properly. The C4 goes out, and he just detonates it at the wrong time. The chase from the Lion is going to finally get the kill, but Slash takes out PSK. The diffuser's going down, but it will be stopped by Drunks playing in CEO through the whole round, and he was the one to eventually clutch it out.
Nobody watching the plant going down whatsoever. Very vulnerable position from Liquid, and ultimately, Black Dragon's doing a great job of wasting a lot of time. So good map presence and good awareness to continuously try to outfox Liquid all over that map. You know, it started off with RDZ playing downstairs inside of that elevator, takes out the Zofia of Bullet. Excellent job getting that utility off the board. You don't have to worry about your defenders getting locked down from those concussive mines. You know, it was a really smart play by Black Dragons to do that, and then keeping Drunks on the flank. I don't even know if they suspected him. He was playing on that tight wall just through the main doorway of open area, sitting on cams, waiting very patiently, and at a moment's notice, could join the fray by running up those main stairs, and that's exactly what he's going to do. The C4 missed. That C4 could have swiftly closed out the round, but ended up wasting time for the Lion, and by doing so, burned the 15 seconds that were needed to prevent Sexy Cake from getting back upstairs to watch the plant from Zig go down. So overall, Black Dragon's really tying the end of that round together quite nicely. Now, Liquid a change. They will abandon the Lion and they will instead go with the Dokkaebi, so they'll bring a set of smokes, which could have possibly been missing from their engage the first time around, though I don't know how much of a difference it would have made, especially when you're going against a defensive lineup that is the Evil Eyes that can see right through them. So, different sight, though, for Black Dragons, as they can't go back up to CEO. They're going downstairs to CCTV, and we'll see what they'll be able to make of this.
I'm curious to see if they're going to lean into the strategy that Liquid was trying to use on those server stairs, playing it aggressively, reinforcing the drop down, or if they're just going to play it normal. It seems at the moment that the latter is the case. but there's still potential for rotation. RDZ will be playing hard in server itself, but not contesting the stairs. You can see Liquid already placing a lot of value on that information. So they drone it out pretty early in this round, aware of the possibility of their own operator ban coming back to haunt them. The fact that Black Dragons is defending the basement in the first place, it somewhat already is coming back to haunt them. Not having a Hibana open up the drop downs is going to make this attack very difficult and without question one-dimensional. You're not going to have a lot of ways to throw two different pushes at your opponent with only thermite charges on this site. Now, still possible, but difficult. Small going to be calling out a lot of opponents right now, and he is likely going to force a lot of rotations from his teammates because of this information that he is able to provide thanks to Pulse.
C4, or rather exothermic charge, will go off much earlier on. We heard in the last round Zig using one of those exothermic charges literally in the final 10 seconds of the round. So not exactly the best timing, but I mean a different set of circumstances when you're going downstairs to CCTV. You've likely got 3 hatches to deal with, and oh, that is a pretty nice drone. This is going to be a game of cat and mouse here. As you can see, Nesk is primed at the main entrance to Garage to jump on the Maestro. He's got an Evil Eye Cam to keep watch of the Garage. A drone from Nesk is going to keep watch of Maestro. So who is going to blink first? It's going to be more of a game of chicken than, I guess, cat and mouse.
Yeah, when the Maestro leaves Garage, that's when Nesk will start his push. And it looks like he faked it out. Well, Slash is actually going to commit to leaving, and the phone call is going to leave him exposed. Small has doubled up in Garage. This could be an easy double kill, and yes, it will. Nesk from behind. Excellent timing, and Black Dragons have now been opened like a can of tuna. Liquid now pushing in. Bullet will get a second, and Lev able to refrag, but it's all up to Drunks now in the 1 versus 4. Very unlikely to happen. He does have a gas canister left, but the diffuser has been planted, and that's it.
That's the kind of thing where you don't get credit for those support players. That looks like, if you don't catch that drone on camera here for everybody to see, that looks like Nesk just running in and getting a nice double kill, and boom. And Nesk deserves praise for that, absolutely. He's able to stash that drone up there, get the information he needs. But the Dokkaebi, huge assist to Sexy Cake, and then whoever was watching that drone in order to feed him the information to capitalize. That's not just a solo affair from Nesk. And yes, he did a great job getting the double kill there on both the Pulse and the Maestro. 2 very important operators in the grand scheme of things. Pulse being denied the ability to continuously track the attackers with that cardiac sensor once he dies. And of course, Maestro lacking the plant denial and pure fragging potential that come with both his Evil Eyes and then respectively his LMG. So that's when we repeatedly say that support players deserve a lot of praise. At no point will you see any credit on the scoreboard go to whoever was able to watch that drone, feed information in Nesk, and then Sexy Cake get the phone call. But Nesk is going to walk away with the star of the show there, rightfully so, but still, credit needs to go to the rest of Team Liquid. They'll regain the lead and go with a bit of a different lineup this time. So they'll go back to the line, but they'll bring the Kappa Tau, and we'll head back to CCTV.
Liquid opened up that site so easily as soon as Nesk was allowed to get into the Garage. That was ultimately when the round was basically over at that point. And I think a little bit of negligence on the Black Dragon side. We aren't likely to see it happen again. You can expect them to be much more vigilant on Garage, especially as well as all the other angles. But when you're dealing with this a match that is this close, each one of these rounds means so much. And the fact that you're unable to defend the basement, a site that is heavily favored given the operator lineup right now, that does not bode well. Now, Slash, as you can see, he's going to be doubling up on this job, and he's aware of how important it is now. He'll have even more information than he did in the previous round.
Yeah, you're not going to get pulverized from Garage and then continuously let that happen to you every single time. It doesn't typically work that way, right? So it's not really much of a surprise to see them invest quite so heavily. I mean, it wasn't even just Nesk. Once they got that Garage push, you could see that Black Dragon started to pivot to try to take control of Garage to let the rampaging Nesk get no further, but then there was Bullet to be able to double up, and he got 2 kills of his own as well, and that was pretty important. So Black Dragon's obviously going to suspect a possible push from Garage, but they're also in a position to watch the hatches, and then you've got server control from RDZ right now, likely with playing with one ADS, maybe two behind that server stack. But Black Dragon's giving no thought whatsoever to watching the server stairs, which is a different take on this site than we saw from Liquid.
They do have a all-encompassing setup right now. Nesk has already pushed his way to the cop car outside of Garage. A different way of approaching this Garage take. He's aware he's not going to be able to push in for free, so instead he's just trying to challenge it. Very dangerous for both players, but certainly winnable for Nesk.
Was that Lion running the shotgun?
I didn't catch it.
I don't think I've ever seen that GIGN shotgun run on attack. Now, of course, on this site, England ran it on defense, but oh my word, it is indeed. This could get messy very quickly. That is a powerful gun at close range. Sexy Cake will have to try to get in there with Nesk inside a Garage. Drunks takes out Zig with an impact grenade, but he gets traded off, and there's Nesk very narrowly missing Slash, but he'll see him hop onto drones, and oh, he can't connect. There we go. Nesk will finish him off. Sexy Cake reloading the shells in that shotgun, possibly was still an EE1D to keep people at bay. A double kill from RDZ as he gets in towards the elevator, takes out Bullet and PSK, and well, Sexy Cake is need to be a difference maker here. You've still got Nesk available. Sexy Cake will get down by Nesk. Oh no! And Levy is there, and Black Dragons will tie it back up. Things falling apart so quickly for Liquid. And Black Dragons just simply catching them as they stream in.
So, not quite as easy as it once was for Team Liquid. Black Dragons well prepared in that round. And there were a lot of factors that were the result of that win for Black Dragons. The most important one, of course, is going to be RDZ's flank from behind. He came from the main lobby, dropped in the elevator that the attackers themselves had opened up. The fact that Nesk was, yes, able to get control of Garage, but it was too late in the round for it to really matter. And also those Legion traps denying and delaying the push from the main stairs as well as other avenues. We saw that actually be a huge factor in Liquid's most recent successful defense of the basement, Legion traps being just so very powerful. Now, we are one round away from match point. The question is who will be able to take it. CEO, the next site to hold, and Black Dragons were successful the last time they went here. It was also the first round that they ever defended.
Interesting to see how much CEO play we're getting. I mean, this is a site that does see quite a bit of play, but I mean, we've now gone, 2 bank matches without Mira getting banned. CEO makes a lot of sense. Open area, also a very defendable site here, but I mean, we haven't seen an open area so far. We've seen CCTV 5 times, we've seen Tellers once, we've seen CEO 3 times now. So an interesting mix here between these two teams, and
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, ultimately for Black Dragons, the way they won CEO, if you recall, was they wasted an awful lot of time onto Liquid's entry, stopped them at almost every single step of the way, and then when Liquid needed to go for the plant, they had no coverage to protect Zig. And that was by part of Black Dragons stalling Liquid out with only 15-20 seconds to go in the round. So ultimately, it was an exemplary job with time management through and through for the full 3 minutes.
Claymore going out for the North run out. I can't blame them. It's actually a really powerful run that we've been seeing a lot of teams use to try and counter any repel there. The reason it's so powerful is that there's so many windows, so many opportunities to run out on anyone on repel, and it's hard to really cover all of them. If you want to cover them, you need to leave somebody on the floor outside of those north windows. They have to watch at least 8 if I'm not mistaken, which is a lot. And then on top of that, because they're sitting outside the building, if they want to get back into the action after watching those runouts, it takes a solid 20 to 30 seconds to do so. So usually not something you can really accomplish as an attacker. Because of that, you need things like Claymores. Otherwise, those runouts are almost assured to happen.
RDZ was a pivotal point of the defense early on for them the last time they defended CEO. He sat in that elevator, wasted an awful lot of time, and there will be quite a considerable amount of focus from Liquid on it taking out that dog. The one thing that RDZ has working in his favor is that all that damage done getting RDZ down to about 10 HP, will be undone from 2 of those stim pistols. So knowing that the dog could possibly take that chance, could have been burned quite readily, but won't see that happen. EE1D will go, and RDZ and Slash will both get their position given away. Through the wall, RDZ will sustain a lot of damage and likely look to use that final stim pistol, but not taking the opportunity. Instead, he'll see the Lion, a Sexy Cake duck behind the window and Banana, and just narrowly miss his shots. Killing will start as Bullet takes out Slash, and still RDZ looking for that kill towards the Banana window, but can't find it. Zig will peek out for a second behind the wall, leading at the top of Banana, and RDZ cannot connect. He continuously get dared as quick peeks from the Thermite come out, and oh, what a shot. RDZ being all over the map. He's just got 5 HP though. He takes out Bullet. That's the Zofia down yet again, frozen in place. But 30 seconds, Michael. This is shaping up for Liquid to be in a good spot, but RDZ will pick up a big kill. PSK with 1. Drunks will respond. And it's just left to Nesk and PSK. PSK will need to do all the work as there goes Nesk, but PSK will continue to get marked, and as he peeks around the corner, diffuser in hand, Small is there on the main stairs to shut him down, and that will be Black Dragons now sitting on match point. The points that Liquid needed to keep pace with Immortals, not there for them. At best, Liquid can walk away with 1, but Black Dragons can still be able to pull this one off. Final round.
It's also possible that Black Dragons, with just a draw, will be able to propel themselves back into 7th place, now being in that bottom 8th place. And that's definitely what they want and need right now. But, of course, they'll be angling for an outright win, because if they manage to get 3 points, then they will do themselves a great service in avoiding relegation. Open area, the next site for the defense, and they have yet to go here. They went CEO twice and basement twice, and Black Dragons will grace us with a new site for this match. We have yet to see it played by Liquid either. Lion going to be 6 picked into. Interestingly, maybe not. PSK dancing with the potential of a sledge, but he's going to think better of it. The reason, the thought process behind the Buck and sledge is, of course, that if they're defending Tellers, if Black Dragons are defending Tellers, then having a soft destructor like Buck or Sledge is really substantial, because you can open up pretty much the entire site. You force the roamers to be the only defenders left. But not so here. We're dealing with a open area hold, and usually soft destruction not as important here. As much as you can open up above the site, it's not as crucial.
Yeah, to just add on to that, for those that haven't been keeping track, both CCTV and CEO were off the board for the defense, so they had to go to Teller's Archives or open area staff area. So having that pivotal second floor control, as you noted, is crucial on both sites, not as much here on open area, but if you want to forego the Buck or the Sledge, there are 2 options for breaching charges here on Liquid. You can see either Nesk or Bullet run the breaching charges on the ceiling, which we have seen in absence of a Sledge or a Buck. So there is a possibility that Liquid decided, hey, go with the Lion, we'll forego the Buck, but we'll bring it on either Bullet or Nesk. But as you can see, Bullet holding the Claymore, so might have to be on the Ash. But I mean, you've got to think that the Ash is probably bringing flashbangs here, so they might just be foregoing that second floor destruction anyway.
It was the right call in the end, considering they were dealing with an open area defense. If they were dealing with storage, or sorry, pardon me, archives and tellers, then this would be a totally different story. But well predicted by Liquid, and they're going to have, I think, the advantage moving forward in terms of operators. However, they have to actually get the control they need in order to use those operators properly.
The one thing that you would use that soft destruction for is you could push the defenders out of open into staff area and possibly take a mirror out. You've seen a lot of teams put one of the mirrors on the copier wall, for example. You could take that out from above, but I think you're absolutely right. It was a good call to go with the Lion. We'll see what can happen, but I mean, right now, Liquid seem to be struggling with getting the information that they need. A lot of hesitation to try to get in and establish map control here is this game, of course, on the line, and could possibly be Liquid's season on the line as well. Same goes for Black Dragons, but they sit in the driver's seat. 90 seconds gone, and that was a very good drone. Sexy Cake's drone just sitting inside a site on the cafeteria counter.
The way that Liquid is setting up to attack this right now scares me quite a bit. They're going to have to open up a castle barricade in order to make this push happen. There's still RDZ in a potential for a crossfire from the Archives. Small is the one who has to get some kills here as he holds on to this doorway. Slash as well, but Slash gets taken out with relative ease. The smokes are going to allow for a lot of cover. Defenders now in a really bad spot as Liquid starts pushing their way into the kitchen. They're going to get the defuse plant amongst all the chaos. RDZ from behind gets one, but he's shut down by PSK. Ziggin's still inside of kitchen. Small somehow still alive. Flashbangs go Small's way, and because of that, Lev, his teammate just next to him, will die, followed up by Small. It's all up to Drunks now in a 1 versus 4. Diffuser planted, and he's going to fight against 4 as he tries to challenge every possible angle, and rightfully so, he's being challenged from each and every one of them. Inside of kitchen, though, Zig will go down. Inside of small office, the C4 will miss! No, potentially a 1 versus 2, but the missed C4 going to keep it in a... What a shot from Drunks! He doesn't have time to disable the diffuser, but he certainly tried.
A shootout at the OK Corral inside of open area, and the defenders will fall apart. Ultimately, I like the way you said that. It was shaping up quite poorly for Liquid. They timed both the Lion gadget as well as the Dokkaebi gadget, blew open the castle barricade, smoked it off quite extensively. You